If you have a baby under the age of 3, I need you to listen very carefully for the next 30 seconds, because something that looks completely harmless, even educational, may be quietly reshaping your baby's brain in ways that make life harder for them and more exhausting for you. This isn't about blame. It isn't about bad parenting. It's about a modern environment that our biology was never designed to face. This happens in loving homes. It happens during moments of pure exhaustion, when you just need 5 minutes to breathe, to cook, to shower, or to reset. And most parents don't realize what's happening until much later, when sleep starts falling apart, tantrums increase, attention disappears, and nothing seems to hold their child's interest anymore. By then, the connection to screens is rarely questioned, but it should be. During the first 3 years of life, your baby's brain grows faster than it ever will again. In this short window, more than 1 million neural connections are formed every single second. These connections are not built through information or content. They are built through real human experiences, through eye contact that responds, through touch that regulates, through voices that pause and adjust, through slow, reciprocal interaction. The infant brain expects rhythm, predictability, and emotional safety. But today, one of the biggest threats to this delicate neurological construction doesn't come from outside the home. It comes from screens, from phones, tablets, and televisions. And most of all, from fast-paced children's cartoons designed to hold attention at any cost. Shows like Cocomelon, fast-edited versions of Baby Shark, Blippi, and even Paw Patrol are often marketed as fun, safe, and educational. But what they actually deliver is a level of sensory intensity that a baby's nervous system is not equipped to process. Rapid scene changes, flashing and highly saturated colors, exaggerated movements, constant motion, and non-stop music bombard the brain without allowing it a moment to settle or integrate. A baby's nervous system is designed for slow human rhythms, faces that respond to their cues, voices that wait and listen, moments of quiet followed by moments of engagement. Fast cartoons replace this with continuous stimulation that never pauses, never softens, and never adapts to the child's emotional state. Take Cocomelon as an example. Experts who analyze children's media have found that scenes change every 1 to 3 seconds. Facial expressions are exaggerated beyond natural human interaction. Colors are pushed to extremes, and high-energy songs loop continuously. For an adult brain, this may feel annoying. For a baby's brain, it feels overwhelming. In response to this intensity, the brain releases dopamine, the chemical associated with attention, reward, and excitement. That dopamine surge feels good in the moment, but it pushes the nervous system into overdrive. When the screen turns off, the stimulation stops abruptly and the brain crashes. This crash is not emotional weakness. It is biology. This is why so many parents notice the same troubling pattern. Their baby cries the moment the show ends. They seem restless and dysregulated. Toys that once held their attention suddenly feel uninteresting. Independent play becomes difficult. Calm activities are rejected. Sleep becomes lighter, shorter, and more fragmented. These are not behavioral problems. They are signs of sensory overload in a developing nervous system. Fast-paced edits of Baby Shark create a similar effect, with loud beats, flashing backgrounds, and constant visual motion that overwhelms both the visual and auditory systems. After watching, many babies appear wired, irritable, or unable to settle, especially during transitions to quieter moments or bedtime. Blippi overwhelms in a different way. The loud voice, constant jumping, exaggerated gestures, and non-stop novelty train the brain to expect excitement at all times. Over time, everyday life, books, blocks, quiet play can no longer compete, and frustration follows. Even Paw Patrol, which is actually designed for older children, contains action sequences, dramatic tension, and fast camera movements that are simply too stimulating for infants. Babies cannot explain discomfort with words. They express it through mood swings, emotional instability, short attention spans, and sleep struggles. Before we go further, if this is resonating with you, take a moment to like this video and leave a comment telling me how old your child is. And if you want deeper guidance, practical tools, and early access to upcoming content, this channel also offers a membership with 2 levels that unlock exclusive and preview materials for parents who want to go further than surface advice. Make sure you're subscribed to the Parenting Blueprint so you don't miss what comes next. Science helps us understand why all of this happens. Fast-paced cartoons condition the brain to crave intensity, making slow, real-world experiences feel dull and unsatisfying. They reduce opportunities for language growth because babies learn to speak through back-and-forth interaction, not passive listening. They interfere with emotional regulation by creating dopamine highs followed by sudden drops. And they weaken early executive function, the foundational skills for focus, memory, self-control, and problem-solving. The hardest truth is this: most parents believe their baby loves these shows. But babies don't love the content. They love the chemical rush. These cartoons are engineered to capture attention, not to support development. What makes this issue so difficult for parents to recognize is that the impact doesn't show up as a sudden problem. There is no clear breaking point, no obvious moment where everything changes. Instead, the shift happens slowly and quietly, woven into daily life in ways that are easy to misinterpret. A baby who once stayed focused on a simple toy now moves restlessly from one object to the next. A child who used to enjoy sitting with a book now pushes it away after only a few seconds. Calm moments become shorter, transitions become harder, and frustration seems to appear faster and more intensely than before. Most parents assume this is personality or temperament, but very often it is the nervous system responding to chronic overstimulation. A baby's brain does not yet have the ability to filter, organize, or regulate incoming sensory input. Those skills develop gradually over many years. When fast-paced cartoons flood the brain with rapid images, loud sounds, and constant novelty, the brain has no way to process it meaningfully. Instead of learning how to sustain focus, the brain learns to scan endlessly for the next burst of stimulation. Instead of learning how to settle into an activity, it learns to seek constant excitement. Over time, this reshapes attention. Attention is not something children are born with. It grows slowly through repetition, patience, and engagement with the physical world. When the brain becomes accustomed to instant rewards and nonstop movement, slower experiences begin to feel uncomfortable. A stack of blocks does not flash or sing. A caregiver's voice pauses and waits. A book unfolds gently instead of exploding with sound. To a brain trained on intensity, these experiences can feel empty, even irritating. Language development is affected in a similar but often overlooked way. Babies do not learn language simply by hearing words. They learn it through interaction, through eye contact, facial expressions, pauses, and shared attention that teaches them how communication works. Screens cannot participate in this process. Even the most carefully designed educational programs cannot wait for your child's response or adjust to their emotional state. The brain hears sound, but it does not practice communication. Emotional regulation also becomes more fragile. Fast-paced cartoons create spikes in dopamine, pushing the nervous system into a state of high alert. When the stimulation stops, dopamine drops sharply, and the brain experiences this as discomfort and agitation. Babies cannot understand or regulate this sensation. They cry, resist calm activities, and struggle to soothe themselves. Over time, the nervous system becomes less flexible, making everyday frustrations feel overwhelming. This pattern often shows up first in sleep. A brain that has been overstimulated during the day struggles to slow down at night. Bedtime becomes more difficult, night wakings increase, and naps become shorter and less restorative. The nervous system remains activated when it should be resting. The most confusing part for parents is that babies appear to want these shows. They reach for the screen, brighten when the music begins, and protest when it ends. This looks like preference, but it is not choice or enjoyment in a meaningful sense. It is conditioning. The brain has learned that fast stimulation produces a chemical rush, and without it, the world feels dull. The good news is that this is not permanent. The infant brain is highly adaptable. When overstimulation is reduced and replaced with slower relational experiences, the nervous system begins to recalibrate. Parents who make gentle changes often notice calmer behavior, improved sleep, longer attention spans, and renewed curiosity in real play within a matter of weeks. In the next part, I'll show you how to reverse overstimulation in a way that feels realistic, compassionate, and sustainable for real families. If you're listening to this and feeling worried, overwhelmed, or even guilty, pause for a moment. This is not about blaming yourself. Modern parenting is happening in an environment no previous generation had to navigate, and many of these tools were marketed as helpful long before we understood their neurological impact. The most important thing to understand now is that your baby's brain is not broken. It is adaptable, resilient, and designed to recover when given the right input. Healing begins not with drastic changes, but with gentle ones. Instead of cutting screens suddenly and creating distress for both you and your child, the nervous system responds best to gradual shifts. Shorten screen time little by little and begin replacing fast-paced content with slower, calmer experiences that the brain can actually process. When screens are used, choose programs with natural speech, gentle pacing, and emotional modeling rather than constant stimulation. At the same time, bring the focus back to real-world experiences that match how a baby's brain naturally develops. Simple play on the floor, stacking blocks, rolling a ball back and forth, pouring water, or exploring textures gives the brain something screens never can: feedback. These moments build coordination, problem-solving, and focus without overwhelming the nervous system. They also teach patience and curiosity, which are the foundations of attention. Connection matters just as much as play. Reading together slowly, even if your baby doesn't sit still for long, exposes them to language rhythms and shared attention. Singing gentle nursery rhymes, talking through daily routines, and spending time outdoors provide predictable sensory input that helps regulate the brain. Predictable routines, especially around sleep, signal safety to the nervous system and support emotional stability. Independent play is another powerful tool, even in short doses. When babies are given space to explore without constant entertainment, they learn to focus, tolerate mild frustration, and build inner calm. This doesn't mean ignoring them. It means being present without performing. Perhaps the most powerful input of all is you. Your voice, your face, your responsiveness, and your emotional presence shape your baby's brain more deeply than any show ever could. Babies do not need flashing lights or constant excitement to learn. They need safety, connection, and time. Parents who make these changes often notice meaningful improvements surprisingly quickly. Sleep becomes more restful. Tantrums soften. Attention lengthens. Curiosity returns. These are not coincidences. They are signs that the nervous system is recalibrating and the brain is returning to its natural developmental path. Before we finish, if this video helped you see your baby's behavior through a new lens, please like this video, share your experience in the comments, and subscribe to the Parenting Blueprint for more neuroscience-based parenting guidance you can actually use. Fast cartoons may look educational, but they replace meaningful learning with artificial stimulation. Your baby doesn't need constant excitement. Your baby needs connection. Your presence is the most powerful tool you have.